Hello, all you lovers of everything Bigfoot related. My name's Craig Paulson. I'm the founder of the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Research Organization. And this is going to be our first documentary, but this is actually the second annual expedition that I've done. The first one was just basically a complete washout. So we went to my favorite area of research here in Pennsylvania. I'm not going to mention where, obviously. We spent 2 days and 2 nights conducting field research. We also camped out, and we had a really good time. I was with a bunch of researchers, most of them far more experienced than myself, and they all contributed to some really good stuff that we got. This is my very first video, so please, try and cut me a little bit of slack. So sit back and enjoy. Hey everybody, this is Craig Paulson, founder of the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Research Organization, otherwise known as PBRO. And we're just finishing up 3 days of field research here in Southwest PA. And we have a bunch of people that are really well experienced in this whole Bigfoot research thing. And so we're going to introduce you guys to some of these. So go ahead, Tim.
Hi everybody, I'm Tim Vogel from Massachusetts. We have the Vogel brothers as Bigfoot investigators and a business called the Cobble Mountain Critter Project. Craig invited us down to do some squatching, and we were excited to do it because we hear Pennsylvania's just loaded with squatch, so yeah, we thought we'd give it a shot. We came down, it was last Thursday, or this Thursday. And immediately on our first outing started getting, we ended up with a cast, a foot track or trackway. Small, probably juvenile trackway, wide heels, things like that. Pretty impressive stuff. Some noises, things like that. We heard a couple whoops potentially. And at night the other night we had some lights up here. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The lights were there, and then they're not.
Yeah, unexplainable.
Dim in, dim out. One of the white lights turned red a couple times. One of them, we saw a green streak. I don't know what it was, but we saw a green streak in the same area situation. The lights were at different levels. They were moving. I don't know what it was. I'm assuming I used the term eye shine, but there was no lights being shined out there. So this was eye glow. This was illuminating, self-illuminating.
Yeah.
First time I had seen potential eye shine, eye glow.
Not really orbs though.
No,
it was.
The orbs I saw before were orbs. These were almost stationary at different sizes, and they moved around.
Right.
So, 3 days of squatching in Bigfoot. I'm loving it and wanting to come back.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to do probably at least an annual, if not biannual, field research here in this area. And how long have you been doing this kind of stuff?
Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Almost
and
20 years.
You've seen them.
With a couple different groups.
Yep, you've seen them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've had Class A sightings. My brother Eric had a Class A sighting at 40 yards up in Savoy, up in State Forest, in Massachusetts. We had one in October Mountain. We saw it when we were running a BFRO expedition. And there's a dozen witnesses. A dozen people see these things as well. It's not just me. I got a dozen people that testified to it. And it's a pretty wild journey. You go out there, you take a bunch of people in the woods, and they're looking for Bigfoot. And all of a sudden you see it. It's like, holy crap, it's right there. You smell it, see it.
It's a life changer. Yeah, right?
And here I am.
It alters everybody's lives, either for the good or for not, Some people see them and they never step foot in the woods again, like Greg. At night, he won't go in the woods.
Yeah. some of the talks that we talk about kind of opens the door for other people to say, hey, by the way, that happened to me 15, 20, 30 years ago, or way back when I was a kid, or this or that. And it's becoming easier for people to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so coming here, meeting a cool group of people, like-minded, having all very similar experiences, it's a great way to share information.
Right.
There's no database or no record book of it where it's going to go, and how do you reclaim that data or that information.
Right.
So I think that's where we should go. We got great information. Keep doing this, share information.
Right.
And somehow manage that information so it's a pool, so somebody from Maine can look at what's going on in Georgia and say, hey, that happened here in Maine. So,
right.
You might develop patterns. You don't know what you're going to find.
Right.
But if you don't collectively log it, talk about it, and share that information, you're done.
Yeah, there are groups out there that don't want to share.
Project in your backyard if you don't talk about it.
Yeah, and there are groups that don't want to share it and will not. They'll refuse to share anything. But the vast majority, and there are a lot of groups. There are a lot of groups, and we're all in communication. We all cooperate, and that's what we're doing now. But yeah, I mean that's how you're going to get all your data, and that's how you're going to figure out what exactly you're dealing with.
Yeah, and when people are having conversations, just casual. You heard something last night. Oh, wow. Hey, that happened to me. And now you're not even talking about it. You're just listening to the guy's story. And
right.
Say, oh, wow. Hey, that.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. Yeah. And this is Kim. This is Tim's wife. And she kind of follows Tim around on these excursions. But she's not into going in at night. And
me out of trouble.
Yeah. So she likes to sit around a campfire with my wife. And she prefers to do that kind of squatching versus going out with night vision and walking around in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah, we go for drives.
Right.
But you seen last night. You seen those lights. Wait, wait. I want you to talk. Oh.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And this is Tracy. Tracy's a newbie, but she's seen them. She's had a couple of experiences with them. And tell us about, excuse me. Tell us about what you've experienced. This is your first expedition, field research.
Yes, this was beyond my expectations. This was incredible. It really was. I mean, I have also witnessed the lights over here. And when we were walking away, not only, there was a few, when we were walking away coming back to the camp, you just see them everywhere. They just start, like there was a whole group of them.
Right.
It was incredible. And then we were going to say hi to them, like we were trying to talk.
Yeah.
Their light would get really bright, right? And then dim back up a little bit, but still enough to you see them. It was incredible.
Yeah, I finally got up after everybody went on their walkabout last night. While we stayed here, Tim and I stayed here in base camp with the radio and our own gear. But you guys walked, you and Steve and Levon and Shelly, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys walked up there into the woods, and then you walked even farther than where the lights were. But but when you got there, the lights weren't showing themselves.
When we walked up there, it was during the day, because they seen lights the night before, so we wanted to go debunk it and go check it out. And there is no lights in there. There's nowhere for anybody to be. I mean, of course, if you're walking with a flashlight, but this was not a flashlight.
Right.
These were eyes that when you talk to it, they got really bright and then dim back up.
Right. So,
and then you watch them follow you.
But you're not willing to say that they were eyeballs.
I'm not.
It was just a really unusual experience with lights that you can't really explain.
This was very unusual. I've never experienced it. This was my first time, and it was pretty incredible to see. Yeah.
Excuse me for a second, guys. I got to call our lead investigator back. Get over here. Hey. Come on, Taco. Yeah. Okay, and then this is Frank, and Frank is also a newbie, and this is also his first expedition. And tell us what you thought about this experience.
I'm a city boy. And being out in the woods at night, this was a first for me. Just being out in the woods with pretty much no light. We use these red headlamps, and we get to a location. We probably walk a mile or two into the woods on these little trails and turn off the lights. And you're just standing there in the pitch dark. I definitely got out of my comfort zone. I too also saw the lights that Tim and Tracy were talking about. At first, they were stationary, and then they just started. We started walking, and they were almost like pacing us. And then they would separate, and then they would walk back. It almost looked like they were different sizes, but it was constant. It wasn't like the lights were bouncing up and down. And that's why I don't think they were flashlights, because they were so constant. Usually somebody holds a flashlight. It's going all over the place, and you see a beam.
A beam.
There were no beams on this. That totally, that blew my mind. Walking out on the trails at night, we had some interesting things. The first night, I came in on Friday night, and we walked into a reservoir, and I know some of the group was in earlier during the day, and they had a chance to scout it out, and I believe they got a cast out in this area, a foot cast. And I'll let them talk about that. But we're down at this reservoir. We're heading into the reservoir on this trail, and something's moving ahead of us, and we can hear it as plain as day. We had night vision binoculars, and we could not find this thing. A couple of us did. And it was a little bizarre. It was a little unnerving. You know, I couldn't tell the size of it, but for a city boy hearing these noises in the middle of the night, I'm talking, we didn't go out till 11 o'clock at night. And we were out there for quite a while.
Till 1, right?
Yeah, it was at least till 1. And that in itself was exciting to me. It was a little unnerving. I was with some good people. Some of the people I was with, like Tim and Stephen and Shelley, they've been doing this for a long time, and I felt comfortable being with them. Coming back to my tent at night, though, that was a little spooky. I got to tell you that. That's going to take a little time for me to get comfortable with that. The first night, I didn't have any issues with the tent. I didn't hear anything. Some people had some experiences around camp. Last night, about 4 o'clock in the morning, I was up. I had to take care of something, but I tried to go back to sleep, and I couldn't go back to sleep. I did hear a grunt. Don't know what it was. It was definitely a quick guttural grunt behind my tent. It was a little bit further away. It wasn't too close, but it got my attention. So this was exciting. Like I said, it's taken me out of my comfort zone, but I'm pretty excited about it. Definitely want to do it again. At the very least, I got to come out, hang out with some people, hear some really cool stories, and got to be out in the fresh air.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, out here at the show with Pennsylvania Bigfoot
Research organization,
Group.
otherwise
Get it right.
otherwise known as
Too many
yeah.
acronym Pennsylvania groups.
yeah, otherwise known as PBRO.
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 That was PBRO at the show. We did our 4-day out here. Myself, Steve Squatchin, my wife Shelley with Habit. So we do investigation now for a little over 12 years.
13 years, something like
13
that.
years. Started with a habituation on our own property that gave us the interest. Since we've had multiple Class A's, sightings, castings, prints,
Hair samples.
hair samples. We travel pretty much the East Coast, doing witness encounters, going to these campouts to learn as much as we can about whatever we're looking for. We won't call it a creature, we won't call it an ape, we won't call it a spaceman, because none of us at this point know. So we do this just to come out and learn every time we're out.
That's pretty much it.
And where
We are out of southern New Jersey.
Yeah,
based.
and where is all of the interactions that you've had? Where is that located?
Our location, without disclosing too much of it, is
Right.
in an area of southern New Jersey called the Pine Lands.
Like, is it on your property or is it out in the woods?
It's
Or?
on private property.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get out of you.
Right.
And so, with everything that you guys have learned from the ones on your property, you've communicated with them, and now what you're trying to do is take everything that you know and what you've learned and compare that to other people's
Correct.
experiences
Apply
and
it into the field to see if we can come up with any standards.
right.
Yeah.
That
Right.
way we can come up with a rapport, hopefully move forward to, hopefully,
It's just basically to see if are they migrating? Do they migrate? Do they? That seems to be according to the location. Whether they migrate, do they have different personalities? Do they have different foods? Do different characteristics, different personalities?
Yeah, and what you're trying to do is use as much of the scientific method that you can from your own experiences to compare with other people's experiences,
Correct.
and you're trying to gather all of that
Yeah.
data.
Yeah.
and we're also trying to provide a service to other people that are
Dealing with habituations.
dealing with situations that
Yeah.
feel they're being attacked, and try to explain the different tactics
Yeah.
that they'll do and help them either
Learn how to set boundaries.
to separate themselves from what's going on to them, and hopefully put them at ease, because a lot of people that we see are totally scared to death, because if you've had a true experience, it is life-changing. It will it will shake you a little bit, and some people deal with it. As most people, it's like a PSD, they just can't get past it. So we try to give them as much information to help them move forward with whatever they have going
Yeah,
on.
whether they want to start investigating and researching and collecting data, or whether they just want to be like, you live there, we're cool, but we don't really need to know anything.
And you guys have been with other organizations, and your
Correct.
preference is just to do what you just explained. You rather do the whole research into habitation, people that are experiencing what you guys have, versus being with organizations and doing field research like you are today.
No, actually we do equally both.
We do equally both.
Yeah.
The personal encounters tend to give you
I mean,
a
we've
little
done
more detail into what's happening, why they would want to come to that property, why they're looking at these people. So it's about how they interact. We seem to get more data that way. All these groups and stuff that we go to camp out and stuff, it's great because you get to meet people that have
and their experiences.
experiences.
Yeah, and what they've seen. Because we've learned there's different species of the Bigfoot. They're not all the same. They're not all the ones that we buy on stickers and have hanging in our homes. A lot of them look very different. They have very different personalities and characteristics that we found out pretty quick. But besides just doing the habituations, we like doing the field research because we get different reactions. Ones that get to know you better than you know you. They know when you come and go, who lives there. They know your schedule. Where if we go out somewhere like this, you get the different, the different knocks, the different whoops. Like, what's this one going to do? Versus the habituation, where they get too used to you.
So tell us about your experiences here, what you saw, what you heard, and
But this was incredible here. This was incredible. We heard talking, mumbling. Like, it seemed like two individuals, I guess you want to say samurai chatter, but they were mumbling back and forth to one another. We were standing here last night, and we heard deep guttural, "Abba." And we were all like, what was that? I got a handful of sand thrown at me. We heard knocking. We've heard whistling here. What else do we get? What am I missing?
prints at the lake.
The
trackway.
Vaughn found prints.
Yep.
We saw a trackway at the lake that she casted.
We had that butt impression with the 2 handprints.
Yeah. And then we saw the other night, we saw glowing eyes in the woods across where we're all camping. At first we thought, is this an owl? Well, we debunked that really quick. And then we thought, well, maybe it's houses or something in there. But the following day, we went in to debunk it. And it's just woods, a hill, and an open field. There's no houses, there's no man-made lights, there's no reflectors on the trees. And we walked up and down the road, and they followed. So it was 2 individuals, 2 sets of eyes, self-illuminating. And they followed us up and down the road. And then again last night, the whole group came out, and they couldn't believe it. And we walked up and down, and they followed us up and down the road. So we knew it was definitely something that was moving. And the one thing that we noticed with the self-illuminating eyes, and I was showing Tim, I said, talk to them. Talk to them real nice, and you'll see their eyes get brighter and brighter. So I don't know if it's an emotional reaction, but we were all standing there talking to them like, hello, and we don't mean it. And the glow just got brighter and brighter, and then we'd stop speaking, and they'd dip. We'd start talking to them again, and they'd get real bright, to the point where it almost was like flashlights lighting up around them. You could see them turn and look at each other. So that was encountered by many of us. That wasn't just us. What am I missing? Anything else?
All right, that's great. We're gonna go next to Lavon, but Lavon doesn't want to be on camera. What? No. Okay, so there's Lavon.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself, Lavon, and you know whether you've seen any and what the experience with you was for here, at this location.
I'm Lavon Haliva, and I am founder of Pennsylvania Cryptid Research Team. I do not have a Facebook page anymore. I deleted it because not that I'm selfish, I just didn't want to have to keep posting. I rather do Bigfoot researching for fun and to learn and to share with the right kind of people that are interested.
Like who, for example? Like me?
Yeah.
Okay. Like our.
I share a lot with Shelly and Steven because they have been my go-to. I basically call them, they're mentoring me. It's like they're my trainers, And a few Native Americans, I won't say their names, medicine women, I turn to them sometimes for answers, I've been doing this for almost 3 years. My first sighting of what I believe now was Sasquatch was when I was a little girl, so at 9 years old in Montana. When I come here and met all these wonderful Bigfoot people that I now call my people, I actually told my story, and it was a great relief. I actually cried because it felt good to just meet people that understood, that weren't going to laugh at you. Then I started researching, started going camping, met Shelly and Steven, just gravitated to them because they're so full of knowledge, just amazing people, and I owe them a lot. And I love tracking. Tracking is my thing. I'm not too the tree structures. I like seeing them, but it's like I want to sniff out the prints. I just love doing that. So I'm getting a lot of dirt time for tracking. I do have an area that I am trying to build a relationship, going based off Shelly and Steven, what they have done for 13 years. I'm about 2 years now, almost 2 years into that area, and I'm still no vocals. I'm just getting like, hello, I'm here, and if they're there, I'll get, that's it. I'll get the clack. Is it a rock clack? Is it them? Is it their mouth? I don't know. Have I had a visual at that area? I have had a visual at that area. But what drawn me to that area is driving one time, told him, I'm like, you need to stop, and he stopped the Jeep and got out, and he's like, what is it? I'm like, come on out of here, tell me what you see. And he's like, That's a footprint. And I'm like, they're here. They are here. I said, I never would imagine them being wherever there's water, you know, and food sources. I would have never imagined it, you know, that they're everywhere. You know, I mean, if someone says they're not, they're everywhere. I have seen 2 close up with, I had witnesses where there was, you know, it ended up being like the whole clan. That was my, I'm speechless when it comes to that point because it was fantastic. It was close. Very beautiful. Was not scary. Still alive to talk about it. You know, we were escorted out of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were on both sides escorting us. We said thank you, goodbye. And then my area, I've only seen the back of one. He had to have been at least over 8 foot. Just the back of him. I spotted him walking up the hill, and I was driving to my area. And I even yelled. I ran off the road because I was watching it. Like, ran off the road and backed it up off the thing. Sorry, Mark. I know. He's like, wait, what? You ran off the road? Followed. Yeah. Followed where I thought he was going to the lake, and I'm saying he only because it was just so large. Followed that to the lake. Ended up seeing his shadows. Had a dog break away from a gentleman and come and barked at the tree line where I was looking, and she stopped and whined, and he was really shocked because he was like, she's never done that before, you know, and apologized. I just went, yeah, oh, good dog. Like, I didn't bother sharing, like, oh yeah, she's, you know, barking at a Bigfoot, because I don't know how everybody's going to react.
Sure.
You know, but I am learning to, like, I don't care anymore.
Right.
You know,
who cares what people think? You know what you know. What you know.
Absolutely.
And let me ask you this, because you and Shelley kind of sort of have like a spiritual connection.
Yeah. From the very get-go. When I seen her coming out of her car, and I was at the Bigfoot Festival, she had this glow.
Yeah.
Like this glow, and it like gave me chills. I'm like I'm seeing you. I'm you know.
Like we saw each other. Like I see you.
And that was the first time you guys met and instantly bonded.
We instantly bonded, and I said to, I don't know, I don't have a permission to say her name, but another person who runs a big Pennsylvania group, I said to her, you want this girl as a researcher, I'm telling you now, she's a natural. Because we read energy, so footprints, we almost like cheat. Because we can see the energy in the footprints. And she instantly turned around and was like, look at this. And everybody else is going, what? What are we looking at?
And so tell us about what you experienced here.
Oh, man, this is a phenomenal place. It really is. It's a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy. I mean, as soon as I got out of the car and coming here, I was all giddy. I mean, I felt like a child.
Yeah.
But the woods have always done that for me. I love talking to trees. I know everybody like, why are you talking to? Yes, I do. I put my hand on the tree. I give thanks to it. I ask for permission to wander Mother Earth. Then I apologize and ask for forgiveness what man has done to Mother Earth. And then I also ask, hey, if there's anything out here, you know, give us a sign. You know, bring them to us. We mean no harm. We come in peace. We will clean up as we go. But I think the first one was probably, no, I instantly went behind the tent, and I do my qigong back there.
Which I thought I saw a Bigfoot swinging back and forth behind the tree yesterday or day before, or whatever. Turned out it was LaVon doing her exercise thing.
But I just, like I've asked Shelley and I've asked other people that are like sensitives and thinking, I pick up the past. It's like I can feel something, but then I know like where, and it's not necessarily just the Squatch. I have followed tracks and the energy of hunters and have found their trail cams, you know, do like this in their trail cams.
Right.
It's like peace.
So,
you know.
So what, it wasn't yesterday, or was it yesterday when we were out scouting during the day? Was that yesterday?
No, day before.
Okay, so tell us about that, and what, like, I know that you kind of have a spiritual thing going on with this particular area, but as far as from a research standpoint, what have you experienced?
I have found tracks. I believe, and I know not everything is Bigfoot, but when something's 13 inches and 7 inches wide, and this ground with all the pine needles and the leaves, it really is hard to track, I think, any animal. But what I've learned from Stephen and Shelley and what I've learned from practicing in my area, they do leave an impression, and you really have to look at the area, and you have to see how things go up just a little bit, and you can see, like, there's a print alert from Shelley and Stephen. Lift up those leaves, feel in there, and when you feel in there and you can feel the toes, then you know you've got something.
So what?
Found many of those.
What? As far as like what you have seen here, and what you have heard here, and what you have found here, tell us about that.
I have seen, like with Shelley and Stephen, whenever they go off, I know like they're on something. So, they came back to say, hey, we're going to get our thermo. So I went out there with them. They were like, yeah, there's some glowing eyes. I'm thinking, no, those are lights, and they're not lights. I'm thinking, why do they look like lights? And they're like, these lights walk. And I'm thinking, what? I'm like, no, these are lights. And then started to walk up the road. And I'm thinking, well, if they're lights, our heads should be going like this as we're walking. But these things were right there, and you can see them going like this. Some of them, I don't know if he burped or if he did a little whoop like that.
Yeah.
And one ducked. Lights don't duck. Lights do not duck. He brought out the thermo and put it on there, and you could literally, because they were all watching the loud noise. There was a lot of loud noise going on in the park next door. And he turned on the thermo, and you literally see it going like this, the eyes going like this. Just the eyes zoomed, and they zoomed right in on Stephen, as if they were like, okay, now we're going to check you out. Like, what are you doing? While the others focused, I think, on us, then the other ones were still, like, when they got really loud, you could see their eyes move, like, what are they doing over there?
What about sounds?
Yeah.
What have you heard since you've been here?
Yeah. And now, see, I'm hearing impaired.
What?
I'm hearing impaired.
No, I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Oh, you're messing with me,
Yeah.
you? But, when someone hears the low whoops, I don't hear them. But when they're louder, then I'm like, did you guys hear? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, thank God. Like, I'm finally hearing things. We did go investigate that area. There's the three of us, Shelley, Tracy, Steve, and we debunked it. Like Shelley said, there's no lights in those woods. There's no home, no nothing. And then there's a hill and a field. There's no way lights could be back there unless it's people doing this. There's no.
Right, which makes really no sense.
Yeah, and there was tracks back there. There were a lot of heavy impressions, and all leading in the direction that they were walking.
Right. Tell us the special thing that you found, which, in my opinion, that was.
Oh, that's
that was I forgot. I keep trying to point you in that direction.
Yeah, we went down to the reservoir, and there were
just
tracks.
Scouting, and it was a daytime thing. We were scouting areas.
The water was low, muddy area, so we went down there, and there was a lot of unexplained tracks. People, we were trying to all debunk it with our boots and everything like that. And some didn't have like the toes; they were just the shape, but definitely not boot. And I come across one with nice toes. I think it was 11 inches, 11 by 7, 11 by 6. I can't remember. I have to measure it again. 11 by 6. I even took my boot off, stuck my foot in the mud. Like, that's not human. It just can't possibly be human.
Right.
I think you even mentioned that you saw the trackway.
Right.
And you're like.
And what's special about that?
Yeah,
Versus a trackway for.
One, like tightrope, or people were calling it.
One in front of the other.
And they were bowed in. Like that. Almost like pigeon-toed. Now, was that a pigeon-toed human walking?
Well, I don't know. What'd you do when
Yeah.
you found that print? What did
I
you do?
casted that.
There
baby.
you go.
I casted it, and I used the hydrocol 30 for like I think that was my first time. No, my second time using that. Because the first one it was a large canine print, and I casted that. That one broke. Not here. That was in another place.
Right, right. So that was special. I mean, we were able to find that, and to me, that made the whole research thing worthwhile because, in addition, I mean, you know, realistically, people can say, well, I heard this, I saw that, blah, blah, blah. But when you find a trackway and you're able to cast one, and it's a beautiful cast. It's not huge, but I mean, it's everything that you hope to find when you find a print and
it was
cast
tight roped.
Yeah, the tightrope walk.
It was the tight
Right, one foot in front of the other, and they were approximately 4 feet apart from one step to the next step, and that's another classic sign.
Yep. And that's what when we went there in the evening. Then we got a few whoops, right? You guys did.
Yeah.
I did not because my ears again started ringing really loud, and they got real heavy. And I'm thinking, okay, if something, it just seems like wherever I go into an area, and if there's a Sasquatch, they mess with my ears.
Yeah.
It never fails. They mess with my ears.
It's do you think it's probably an energy thing?
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
And then the same night, Tracy and I were by ourselves, and you guys were off as a group. And as soon as we stepped off of the road onto the trail down by the reservoir, we heard 2 rock clacks.
Yeah.
Immediately. I mean, it was to the left. It wasn't down where you guys were. And so that's what we heard that night. And everything's on the recorder. So when this is all put together, you know, we'll have video of the cast. We're going to have some audio sound. So yeah, it's been fantastic. And then Levon's significant other is Mark, and he's a man of few words. And he has said that he doesn't really have anything more to contribute it because everybody else has said everything that needs to be said. So
you heard the chatter. That's
yeah. So all right, well that's been great. I'm gonna cut this and then and let everybody start packing up again to head home. So
we're going back over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know I know Tracy's gonna go back up to where the lights were. And then you guys are going to go do your thing. So
that's where we're going. We're going right where the lights were to see if we can find footprints, like a good one.
Good.
We saw a lot of depressions, but there were so many.
Right. Cool. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention our lead investigator, Taco, who has found 9 more of her best friends, and she really appreciates the fact that you guys came from far and wide just to come down here and say hi to her and be her friend. She loves that.
She's such a good girl.
And you know, okay, so back on what we were talking about, just one brief thing. The whole time that we've been sitting over at where we are at the campsite, base camp, whatever, every single night, Taco has kind of made her way out of the little ring of people into like maybe where the shadows begin, and faced in this direction where we are now, and she has been focused on that every single night that we've been here, and every now and again she let out a little growl, so she is definitely picking up on what's going on too. So all right, thanks a lot guys.
Yeah, no, we have a 1,300-acre camp, and it's got 3 hawks that hunt the field. And the 3 hawks sit there, and they make such a noise and a ruckus.
Right next to my backpack.
Oh yeah, look at that. That is
Now,
freaking cool.
that was the 10x5, like the one over there, right, Levon?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 10x5.
This one's from toe down is 12.
Is it a tight? Yeah, look, it's a tightrope track pattern.
So there's one over here that I marked that looks juvenile.
Look, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing
the
tightrope?
Look at that.
Freaking cool.
It's too wet. I'm like, that's castable.
Yeah,
but
that's
possibly
definitely.
Wet. That's look at that.
Toes.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's awesome. I
There's
wonder if
another
that's castable.
Look at that.
It's awful. It's not very deep.
It's not very. I brought
baby powder, but
Oh wow.
Are they sitting? Sitting. Yeah.
That was not a tree knock. I don't think.
No, that was 2 rocks. It was a clack. Yeah. Did you hear that? Far.
Some bitches lost. They're sitting real high.